What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a loot guide for Season of the Witch, and in this one, we're going to focus on additional gameplay drops in the season, such as hidden rewards which will be unlocked via various activities, including exotic items, cosmetics, emblems, and ornaments, some of which are linked to the upcoming Crota's End raid, but also additional drops for season activities and triumphs, as well as event items to give you guys an idea of what can be earned and what's to come, so that you don't miss out on any that you might want to pick up. And so if you enjoy the video today, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more D2 content, and without further delay, let's get into it. And so first up right here, let's focus on items for Season of the Witch, and specifically thematic items associated with the new activities and story for the season. Of course, when it comes to the weapons for the seasonal activity, we get plenty of them dropped, and we can also preview them all on the engram decoding options on the vendors. That's the same for the seasonal armor sets. But in terms of additional drops, for resetting the rank at the ritual table vendor, we can unlock the Sporagmos exotic ship from the Triumph right here, so a pretty cool hive-themed ship there. There are even some hive rooms on it as well, and there tends to be a kind of set of these exotic items, so additionally, there is the Famacus shell, pretty cool hive-themed ghost there, which drops by completing Savathan's Spire on Legend difficulty. The additional cosmetic drop for the season though, is the Laminos exotic sparrow. It's listed in the database as the source simply being Season of the Witch, and there isn't a visible triumph associated with it. Currently, no players have picked it up, so this is probably something that's going to come from an upcoming activity or challenge. Or as we've seen with sparrows and ships previously, it could even be associated with an end of season activity or something like that. So give us any thoughts you have on it down below. But another item that nobody's picked up just yet is the Cartomancy emblem, a really cool kind of hive-themed emblem there. And again, given that there isn't a specific source for this, it's possible that it'll be an upcoming drop from something like an end of season event, or secret in one of the activities. So definitely worth being on the lookout for these in addition to the season weapons and armor. I've still seen a few questions about the armor set that Bungie had said would be the Eververse armor for the season, but has been moved to ritual activities as a drop. You can see an image of them on the screen here. All of them are in the database, so they're pretty much ready to go, but Bungie have said they will arrive a little bit later in the season. I'd imagine by the middle of the season they'll be available, and these armors will drop from ritual playlists like Gambit, Strikes, and the Crucible. So I'll keep you posted on those. But next up, there are rewards for Crota's End. I've got a separate video that breaks down all of the weapon rolls and things like that, but we can see the glowing armor sets will return, so there is the Willbreaker set for Titans, the Unyielding set for Hunters, and the Deathsinger set for Warlocks. Then of course, as we've previewed previously, Necrochasm is coming back as the exotic weapon, then we'll get the Fangavir Yut Scout Rifle, Swordbreaker Shotgun, as well as the Word of Crota Hand Cannon, Abyss Defiant Auto Rifle, Oversoul Edict Pulse Rifle, and the Songavir Yut Machine Gun. If you want to see the weapon rolls for those, I'll link my Crota's End loot guide down below. But there'll be some additional drops coming from the activities, so for cosmetics here, we'll have the two raid emblems at the top. The Illuminated Peril emblem is the general Crota's End emblem, but there's also the Broken Throne emblem, which will be the one that players pick up if they complete the activity on Contest, which is basically the day one clear. Yes, unfortunately, there is no Glowhoo shader, according to the database at least, but there'll be a shader called Warped Rakis, as well as an additional exotic drop there, which is the War's Lament exotic ship. And of course, the Swordbearer title for the raid as well. Otherwise, as we discussed, it's possible that the Necrochasm will be an exotic quest drop, as there is a quest called Bottomless Pit. The only visible objective for that is to acquire Essence of the Oversoul. It could possibly even be a Catalyst quest or something like that as well. We'll simply have to wait and see. But let us know if you're excited for the Crota's End rewards down in the comment section. And to briefly mention some other gameplay rewards for the season right here, of course we now have a Monte Carlo Catalyst, and at 5 stacks of Markov Chain, the alternate weapon action switches between your melee attack and Monte Carlo's bayonet, and landing a bayonet melee grants melee energy. So it's a pretty interesting new catalyst there, but in terms of acquiring it, it will drop in ritual activities, so most players pick that up from Strikes. Although it is a totally RNG drop, so it could potentially take quite a few runs before you get it. It's one I haven't managed to pick up just yet. Otherwise, in terms of catalysts for the season, things like the Exteris catalyst are associated with quests. You can pick that one up from Banshee. And other updated exotics for the season include things like Deadman's Tail, which is now craftable. That weapon and all of its upgrades can now be earned from the Presage exotic mission rotator. so it's only available to earn once every 3 weeks. Of course, it's the same for Dead Messenger, and that one drops from the Vox Obscura mission when that's available in the rotation. I should add that the 3 traits that can be added to that weapon do require completion of the master version of it, but of course the other weapon which has been made earnable again is the Revision 0. And the base gun and all of its upgrades can be earned via the Operation Seraph Shield mission when that's up in the rotation. A couple of updated exotic acquisition sources though include the Wishender exotic bow. That one is now earned via a quest that can be picked up from Petrovenge in the Dreaming City. And I know most players watching this video will already have it, but the Monte Carlo, if anyone wants to pick it up, can be earned via the Timeline Reflection quest at Ikora Ray in the tower, and that one takes us through some old missions from various expansions. The only other one worth mentioning very quickly would be the exotic armor drops for the season, where we've got gauntlets for each class. Unfortunately, this time around, they can be earned from the Vex Strike Force public event on Neomuna, so that's one option to earn them, but also they still drop from Lost Sectors as we've seen in previous seasons. And then to move on to some of the other drops for the season, the rituals have been updated with a few drops here as well. So there is the Cirrus Whisper shader, and that drops by completing strikes and earning rank up packages from Commander Zavala. It is listed on the rank rewards on the vendor, where additionally, we're able to unlock the Ever Vigilant projection, which is actually a pretty cool Zavala projection right there for ghosts. And then of course, across all of the rituals, there's the new Malediction hand cannon, and that can be unlocked by earning ranks in Vanguard, Crucible, or Gambit playlists. But there'll be an ornament for each of those playlists as well. So for the Vanguard, it's the Aged Allegiance ornament. Then looking at Gambit, there's the Mulled Envy ornament for it, which is very, very green indeed, as we can see on screen. And looking at other Gambit unlocks, there'll be the Night Vision shader, as well as a Ghost projection, which is the banked projection there. But finally for the Crucible, there's the Seasoned Temper ornament for Malediction, plus the Ghost projection for Crucible is the Redded projection, a pretty cool Lord Shaxx one, and players can also unlock the Sanguine Splash shader. The only other similar items for this season are actually for the Iron Banner, so we've got things like the Dragon's Teeth shader, and that's dropped by completing Iron Banner matches or earning rank up packages. And the Iron Banner emblem for this season is called Woodland Warband, with this sort of pickaxe and hammer, as well as the wolf artwork on there as well. And so there we go guys, I wanted to focus on additional drops we can pick up in the season, that of course are outside of stuff like Eververse, season ranks, or purchasable items, because of course otherwise, a lot of the gameplay rewards are somewhat self-explanatory, like the new exotic weapons either coming from the season pass, pre-order bonuses, or the Crota Zen quest as we mentioned. And so there we go guys, a quick breakdown of some interesting rewards for this season. Hopefully the video has been useful today, and if it has, a rating below really does help us out. Let us know any that you're excited to pick up. And otherwise, if you've enjoyed the video today, a rating below really does help us out. And feel free to get subscribed if you want to see more Destiny content too. Otherwise though, for now, I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.